Welcome to Tales with Ghost King, your podcast for the bizarre, the weird, and the spooky. Hello, and welcome back to Tales with Ghost King. Today we will have some tales from the jungles, with many hard names and places I will try my best not to completely butcher. We will begin with the myth of Ayara, also known as Uayara or May de Agua, is one of the most famous and captivating legends in the Amazon rainforest and Brazilian folklore. It's derived from the Tupi language meaning Lady of the Water. She is a beautiful, hypnotic mermaid who lives at the bottom of the rivers and enchants passing men with an irresistible siren-like song. The legend has deep indigenous roots that evolved over centuries, serving as both a cautionary tale about the dangers of the jungle and a symbol of nature's wild, untamed beauty. From warrior to water spirit, according to traditional oral tales, Iora was once a real woman and a fierce, courageous, indigenous warrior. The pride of the tribe, she was the best hunter and fighter, a fact that her father, the tribe's spiritual leader or chief, praised highly. His favoritism combined with her beauty aroused intense jealousy in her brothers. They plotted to murder her in her sleep, but Iora's exceptional warrior instincts allowed her to hear their plans, and she killed them in self-defense. Fearing her father's wrath, she fled into the forest, but he eventually tracked her down. As punishment for killing her brothers, she was thrown into the waters of the Amazon, specifically where the Solomos and Negro rivers meet. The river fish took pity on the courageous woman and saved her, but it was a full moon night. The fish and the moon goddess, Jossi, transformed her into a beautiful mermaid. The siren of the Amazon, as a mythical being, Iora patrols the banks of the Amazonian rivers by late afternoon or on moonlit nights. She rests on rocks or on the river's edge, using a voice more beautiful than the jungle birds to sing to passing fishermen and travelers. Her voice and stunning beauty acts as a form of deep hypnosis. Men who hear her song are overwhelmed with a mad, irresistible love. Compelled by her spell, they row towards her or jump into the water. Iora then pulls them down to the bottom of the river where they drown. In some versions of the legend, she marries these men and cares for them in an underwater palace. The rare few who manage to escape her hypnotic charms and return to the jungle usually go insane. To cure this madness, a shama or a page must perform magical rituals to break the spell. The myth of Iora is widely considered a cultural blending of multiple traditions, indigenous roots. Her legends originated from the Tupi Guarana people, possibly evolving from older stories about a monstrous man-eating river spirit known as a Pupiara. As European settlers and enslaved Africans arrived in Brazil, her legend conflated with European mermaid and siren myths, as well as Afro-Brazilian water, Orishas or Lamajas, and Mamiwata. Modern depictions of Iora vary widely based on these cultural crossovers. While traditional indigenous descriptions often give her dark hair, eyes, and skin, European-influenced versions sometimes depict her with blonde hair and green or blue eyes. The Curupira is a prominent ancient forest spirit in Brazil folklore, originating from the Tupi Guarani mythology, celebrated as the ultimate guardian of the rainforest, flora, and fauna. First officially documented by Jesuit priest Jose de Anchieta in 1560, it remains a vital cultural symbol of environmental preservation in Brazil. His most iconic feature involves feet facing entirely backwards, fiery hair. He sports bright red, orange, or flaming hair, short stature. He typically resembles a young boy, indigenous tapu, or dwarf like being. Some regional variations describe him with green teeth or greenish skin. The Curupira behaves as an eco warrior, using supernatural trickery to punish those who exploit nature greedily. His backwards feet leave trails that appear to lead in the opposite direction. Hunters following his footprints walk away from him or deeper into the trap. He emits a loud, high-pitched whistle and shriek. These sounds induce severe headaches, vertigo, and madness in his targets. He perfectly copies human voices and animal calls to lure hunters away from paths. He can create mirages, enchantments, causing trespassers to walk in endless circles until they're hopelessly lost. The Curupira is not a mindless monster, but an enforcer of balance. He tolerates people who hunt or harvest strictly for survival. He viciously targets poachers, commercial loggers, or anyone killing mother animals caring for offspring. Travelers entering deep woods traditionally leave gifts like tobacco, mats, or arrows to appease him and ensure safe passage. Originally feared by early colonizers as a demonic entity, the Kurupara has evolved into a modern environmental symbol. His imagery is frequently utilized in global conservation campaigns and local literature to educate children on sustainability. Notably, his figure was utilized prominently as part of the visual identity for the COP30 climate summit that was hosted in Brazil. El Tunchi is a terrifying, vengeful spirit from Peruvian folklore that roams the dark depths of the Amazon rainforest. Actively feared by locals and travelers alike, this legendary entity acts as a ruthless guardian of nature, collecting the souls of those who die in the jungle and severely punishing anyone who disrespects its flora and fauna. The most defining and chilling characteristic of El Tunchi is its signature sound. It emits a piercing, hollow, high-pitched whistle. It lures travelers deeper into the jungle by tricking them into whistling back. The proximity as the entity approaches its victim, the whistle grows rapidly louder and unbearable. Hearing the whistle means you have likely lost all sense of direction and community safety. While it is considered a universal Amazonian boogeyman, regional details vary across Peru. Many legends state it is the ghost of a tormented man or shaman who died miserably in the forest. It frequently alters its form, shifting between a tall, dark shadow with glowing eyes and an attractive loved one or friend to easily deceive its targets. Much like its closely related Chula Chaka myth, El Tunche cannot fully conceal its true nature, often giving away its identity through deformed goat-like feet. The myth originates deep within the regional communities like San Martin and Loreto, serving a clear environmental purpose. It instills a deep-seated ecological respect, keeping the children safe from wandering into dangerous terrain while threatening severe retribution against those who exploit or harm the rainforest. In Mayan folklore, Aluzes are small, mystical spirit-like beings or spirits that have served as the invisible guardians of nature, protecting jungles, caves, cenotes, and agricultural fields. Similar to the European gnome, leprechaun, or sprites, these knee-high creatures are deeply woven into the ancient and modern traditions of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, and Guatemala. According to tradition, alúes are created from clay through a sacred ritual led by a Mayan priest or an elder. Farmers make clay figurines and present them with offerings to the gods. Once blessed, the figurines are hidden on the farm property, coming to life at night. For 7 years, the alúes assist the farmer by guarding the fields, calling upon the rain, protecting the crops from predators, and chasing away any thieves. At the end of exactly 7 years, the farmer must seal all the doors and windows of the alúe's miniature house. If they fail to trap the alúes inside, it will escape, turn wild, and begin causing severe chaos. They generally stand about the height of a 3 to 4-year-old child. They often wear traditional Mayan clothes, but legends note they can also shift shapes into local animals like coyotes, iguanas, or macos. Alúes are naturally invisible. They choose to reveal themselves only when they want to play a trick, communicate, or defend their territory. Locals believe that if you suddenly trip, lose your keys, hear phantom whistles, or find your cigarettes missing, an alúe is nearby playing a prank. The Cancun Airport Bridge believe in them incredibly strong in modern Mexican culture. The most famous contemporary legend involves the construction of the Cancun Nuzec Bridge near Cancun International Airport. During its initial construction, the bridge mysteriously collapsed multiple times overnight. Local workers warned the engineers that they had angered the area's resident alúes by invading their territory without permission. Yielding to tradition, the engineers brought in a Mayan priest to perform an appeasement ritual and build a tiny stone house beneath the bridge. Following the ceremony, the bridge was completed smoothly and still stands today, along with the tiny house that remains underneath of it. El Cadejo is a famous supernatural spirit from Central American folklore that primarily manifests as a large, ghostly dog with glowing red eyes. The legend is deeply rooted into the cultural histories of countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, and parts of southern Mexico. It serves as a moral cautionary tale about the dangers of late night wandering, intoxication, and the internal struggle between good and evil. In most regional traditions, El Cadejo is not just one creature, but a pair of phantom dogs that represents opposing spirit forces. The white Cadejo, El Cadejo Blanco, this spirit represents protection, benevolence, and light. It has white fur, often blue or glowing eyes, and acts as a guardian angel. It will follow vulnerable travelers, women, children, and those wandering late at night to shield them from danger, thieves, and any malicious spirits. The black Cadejo. This spirit represents evil, temptation, and the devil. It is described as a massive, shaggy, pitch black hound, sometimes the size of a bull or a cow, with burning red eyes, sharp fangs, and sometimes goat hooves. It hunts down late night wanderers, those with an unclean conscience, and the heavenly intoxicated. According to local lore, encountering a Cadejo comes with strict supernatural rules. The phantom walk, you often hear a Cadejo before you see it. It is said to drag heavy metal chains or make a clicking sound with its hooves on the pavement. Paradoxically, if the clicking sounds close, the creature is far away. If the sound is faint, it is right next to you. When the black Cadejo attacks a traveler, the white Cadejo will often intervene. They engage in a fierce, silent battle of teeth and claws to protect the human. However, they never kill one another, as they are destined to coexist forever. You must never turn your back on a black Cadejo or speak to it. If you stare directly into its burning red eyes, it will hypnotize you, steal your soul, or drive you permanently insane. In Guatemalan and Salvadorian versions, the black Cadejo will often linger around unconscious, drunk individuals. It licks their faces or it breathes all over them. Once a person is licked by the black Cadejo, they are cursed to wander as an alcoholic for the rest of their days, never able to sober up. While the core myth remains steady, local cultures have distinct spins on the tale. Costa Rica and Panama, in these regions, El Cadejo is usually a single, monolithic black dog. While terrifying and monstrous to look at, it is generally depicted as harmless or a strict guardian rather than an aggressive demon. Local traditions state that if a Cadejo appears by a man's side, it is almost always the evil black Cadejo, whereas the protective white Cadejo selectively manifests to accompany women and children. The myth of El Cadejo perfectly captures the historical syncretism of Central America. Long before European colonization, indigenous people such as the Maya Quinchi believed in Nahualis, spiritual animal companions that guide and protect humans through life and the afterlife. When the Spanish conquistadors and the Catholic missionaries arrived, they integrated these indigenous spirit animal beliefs with Christians' concepts of angels, demons, and the devil. The pre-Columbian spirit guides were split into two, creating a vivid moral fable used by parents for generations to keep people off of dangerous, unlit roads at night. In Peruvian Amazonian mythology, Sachumama, from the Quechua word Sacha meaning forest or Mama meaning mother, is a colossal, ancient serpent goddess revered as the mother of the jungle. She represents the primal female energy of the earth and acts as a fierce guardian of the rainforest ecosystem's secrets and its treasures. The primary characteristics, legends, and spiritual meanings associated with Sachumama are broken down like so. The physical appearance and camouflage is gargantuan in size. Legend says she is a massive boa constrictor, measuring up to 40 meters long and 2 meters wide. She is so slow-moving and ancient that her scales resemble stone plates, and her body is completely camouflaged by the jungle. A vibrant ecosystem of trees, bushes, vines, moss, and rare medicinal herbs grow directly on her back. Because she is indistinguishable from a large fallen log or a ridge of land, unaware hunters or hikers will occasionally step on to her body without even realizing it. She rarely needs to move to hunt. She possesses powerful hypnotic and magnetic energy. Any animal or human that passes in front of her head is instantly mesmerized and drawn directly into her mouth. As an elemental force, she is credited with causing sudden storms, torrential rain, landslides, earthquakes, or anything like that when her domain is threatened or disrespected. Intruders who violate the peace of her forest may be struck with severe, unexplained headaches and high fevers. These curses can only be cured through ritualistic shamanic intervention, typically involving traditional chants and tobacco smoke. In contemporary Andine and Amazonian shamanism, she is honored as the master architect of the south direction on the medicine wheel. Like a physical snake shedding its skin all at once, she represents the shedding of past traumas, childhood wounds, and old emotional stories to step into a renewed state of physical and spiritual health. In regional folklore, she is part of a triad of powerful Amazonian serpent spirits, alongside Yakumama, Mother of the Water, associated with the anaconda, and Huramama, the Mother of the Wind. I hope I didn't butcher those names too bad, or you at least got a good laugh at me trying. That's our last jungle myth for this episode. Subscribe and share, don't forget. Anyone can submit an episode idea or ghost stories through the email taleswithghostking@gmail.com. We're now available on all your favorite platforms for streaming, and thank you for listening.